Well, another installment of Skip Sauntering Snippets as I wait outside the grandson's dentist office. I don't really like going in, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But I'm staying outside today, even though it's kind of coolish. Much better than Saturday morning here in New Hampshire at my location, be minus 21 in the morning, according to the weather guys. So it shall be interesting. Anyways, the operative question when dealing with politicians who want to tinker with taxes on an upward scale is whose money is it anyways? Whose money is it first? We used to have a progressive commenter on Granite Rock, and I had to give him lots of props because he was persistent. He was sort of like the version of me on Tree Hugger. But then he went too far, and I had to say goodbye. But he always wanted to say, always wanted fair and equitable taxes, but refused to say what the percentage is. At least AOC said 90%. So everything that you make, 90% would go to the government. How fair is that? Didn't matter whether you're poor or you're rich. How fair is that the government has first claim on the fruits of your labor? Well, it seems like California hasn't learned that lesson. France did it, and their rich people went away. New York started to do it, and their rich people moved away. Whenever people have a choice, they will migrate to lower tax states. And California, of all places, should have already learned this because with their high taxes, the middle class and upper middle class and some of the rich are already moving out at the rate of about 300 to 500,000 people a year. And yet the uniparty state, because Democrats basically own it, lock, stock, and barrel, as far as the state legislature and the governorship is concerned, they've decided to introduce a new wealth tax. Now, this one, they're saying, well, it would start at 1.5% for anybody who had a net worth over, I think it's $10 billion. But here's the catch. It isn't $10 billion within the state of California. It's worldwide. Think of the paperwork that poor schlub would have to go through. Well, the accountants anyways. But is that really fair? Is that even really right? And then the next year, I got the numbers wrong. It's billions of dollars. I think it's $1 billion. But within a year or two, it then drops to $10 million. So if you happen to have a successful business, and $10 million is it's a good sized business, but it's not gigantic by any means, and most owners' net worth are tied up in the business, you would be subject to an additional 1%. And anything else that you owned anywhere in the United States or in the world. So $10 million, you might have a couple of houses. All of your assets forever would be subjected to this, because the insidious part of this new bill is that even if you leave, we're still going to tax you. Now think about that. Whose money is it first? This really gets to the point where progressives will never really say it, but they seem to act that way. We're going to take what we want, and we'll decide how much of your money you get to keep, period. And think about that. We're supposed to be a free people who happen to have a government in a constitutional republic. But all too often we see government bureaucracies and those at the head who have nothing better to do than to figure out new ways of spending your money saying, no, we need it for the common good. Well, we all know what happens when too often politicians, especially those on the left, say the common good, because they have the hubris to have decided only they know what is for the common good. You peons down well below our socioeconomic scale and power scale Just do what we tell you to do. We'll take care of you, they say. Yep, Pol Pot, Mao, Stalin, anybody else that has a totalitarian bent will take care of you. And certainly in this case, they want to take care of your money. Is it really fair? And the question is, what can you do about it when they decide to tax your homes everywhere in the States, in other countries, your artwork, anything of value? And I mean anything of value is included in this bill. How do you tell these people up yours in any significant way? I'm Skip, and this is installment, I think, 22 of Skip's Sauntering Snippets, and I thank you for listening.
Croc TV.